Hello everyone, welcome to this session. I've just solved this JEE Main Test 83 and here's the analysis of this paper, physics part. This has comparatively more easy number of questions. I have regarded 10 are very easy, 2 were tough, 13 were medium, and some of the medium were also very easy to you if you have practiced. So I think here the minimum scores would be higher. So anyone who's decent in physics, because of this 10 easy question, you have to get those 40 marks, and here I can assume if you can do 6-7 more questions, so easily you can get 64-65 marks easily. And for the students who are very good, it should be 80 plus, 85 plus in this paper. So let's see what is in it. Now the first one, a 100-watt sodium lamp radiates energy uniformly on all directions. The wavelength of the sodium light is 589. What is the energy per photon in eV? So energy per photon you can directly say is hc by lambda, which is 1240 eV nanometer divided by 589 nanometer. So it is 120 upon 589, that would be 2 point something. So as per the option it would only be 2.11 eV. You can directly go for it. Next, so first was an easy one. Next, you have a soap bubble of radius r, thickness d. It collapses into a spherical drop. The ratio of excess pressure in the drop to the excess pressure inside the bubble is, so initially the excess pressure inside the bubble, you know, that was equal to 4s by r. Okay, 4s by r you can write. Now when it coalesces into a spherical drop, what is the volume of this? The volume of this is 4 pi r square into d, that would be equal to 4 by 3 pi small r cube, small r be the radius of the drop it is forming. So r cube would be equals to 3r square d, or r is equal to 3r square d to the power 1 by 3. So now the excess pressure inside, what we say is the drop, would be 2s by r. So the ratio of drop to this is delta P in drop, excess pressure in drop to excess pressure in bubble. So if I do that, that would be equal to, what we will have, 2s by small r, 4s by capital R. So what we are getting is r upon 2 times small r. And if I put it, let's say it would be, let's say cube I can doing r cube, 2 I can take it out, or let's say take it in if you wish. So that would be 8, and r is what we have, r cube would be 3r square d, and this whole to the power 1 by 3. So what you are left with, this would be r upon 24d to the power 1 by 3. So not that tough if you can make out what it wants to say. Next one, hollow cylinder has a charge q placed at its center. If phi is the flux associated with the curved surface, the flux linked with the plane surfaces. So because it is at the center, we know from symmetry the lines going from A and C will be same, that you can say flux due to A and C is same, both are outwards, and we have phi A plus phi C plus phi B is the flux through the closed surface, which is q by epsilon naught. And what we are given, the flux through this curved surface B is given as phi. So you can directly say 2 times phi A would be equals to q by epsilon naught minus phi. So phi due to A is equal to q by epsilon naught minus phi by 2. So it would be option number A. You can go for it. Again, it's a very common question. Every atom makes one free electron in copper. If 1.1 ampere current flows in the wire having 1 mm diameter, then the drift velocity will be, okay. So what would be the drift velocity? Just look at the data. I is given, area is given, that is pi into 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 whole square. And you have to find the VD, that means you have to also find N. Now what is N? Number of free electrons per unit volume. That would be equal to number of atoms per unit volume into electron per atom, free electron per atom, basically what we are going to say. So free electron per atom is 1, that is number of atoms per unit volume, that would be equal to number of moles per unit volume into Avogadro number. Now number of moles is, you can write mass upon molar mass, so that is mass upon volume into 1 upon m naught into Na. So you can directly write it as rho Na by m naught. Now going by this data, what is small l? Rho. Rho is given as 9 in 10 ki power 3, that would be 6 into 10 to the power 23. Avogadro number, molar mass is 63 into 10 to the power minus 3. So what you are left with 7, that is 6 by 7 into 10 to the power 29. So now using your equation, you know this I is NeVD. So VD is coming out as 1.1, N is 6, 7 let's say goes up, 10 to the power 29, 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and area will be pi into this would be 1 by 4 half into 10 to the power minus 6. So 19 and 6, 25, 29, that is 10 to the power minus 4. 7 into 1.1 into 4, 1.6 into 6 into pi. So what you are left with, this is 0.4. So it is 77 upon 24 pi I can write into 10 to the power minus 4. So it is approximately 10 to the power minus 4 meter per second, or you can say 0.1 mm per second, because pi would be, let's say, 3 point something. It will approximately be 77 by 72 something. So it is close to that 1.1 you can go for. Next. Two balls masses 2 gram and 6 gram moving with kinetic energy in this ratio. What is the ratio of their momentum? We know P is equal to root 2 mk. So kinetic energy ratio is given. So what we can write? We can write P1 upon P2 would be equal to root of m1 upon m2 into k1 upon k2. So the ratio of the masses 1:3. Kinetic energy is 3:1. So this ratio would be 1:1 for you. So it would be option A. Next. Cylinder has a radius r, conductivity K1, surrounded by a shell of radius small r and outer radius 2r, and thermal conductivity K2. There is no loss of heat across cylindrical surfaces. Then the ends of the combined system are maintained at temperature T1 and T2, the effective thermal conductivity. So here what we will have, this is the first one. This is a conductivity K surrounded by this. This is a conductivity K2, like this, and it would be like this. So the ends are maintained at T1 and T2. So basically you have two resistors in parallel. First one is R1 and the second one is R2. So R1 you can write as L upon Ka. So L is, let's say, L. K, what you have is K1, area is pi r square. For R2 we have L upon K2 and area would be pi 2r square minus r square. So now what we have, because they are in parallel, the effective thermal conductivity or the effective resistance first of all would be 1 by r is 1 by r1 plus 1 by r2, and we can write 1 by r as K equivalent. Area would be for the complete, that is pi 2r whole square upon L, that would be equals to K1 pi r square by L plus K2 pi into 3r square by L. So this goes, this goes, this goes, this goes, this goes, r square goes. So 4 times K equivalent is K1 plus 3K2, that is what I can write. So K equivalent is K1 plus 3K2 by 4. So I'll go for option C here. Next. The density of a substance at 0 degrees Celsius is 10 gram per centimeter cube, at 100 is 9.7. The coefficient of linear expansion of the liquid will be. So what I can write, I can directly say delta rho by rho is equal to minus gamma delta T. You can write it as minus 3 alpha delta T. So delta rho by rho, what you have, 0 to 10 to 9.7, that is 0.3 negative by 10, that is minus 3 alpha into delta T is 100. So alpha comes out as, and this comes out as 0.1. So it is 1 by 100, so 1 upon 100 into 100. So it is 10 to the power, minus will cancel up, so 10 to the power minus 4 per degree Celsius. So we'll go for option A here. Next. In a resonance column experiment, first and second resonance were obtained at this and this. The third resonance will be obtained at a depth of, okay, so when will the third resonance be obtained? So we know the ratio is in 1:3:5 sort of thing. So first is 22.7, second is 70.2. So third would be, let's say, 5 times, that would be 110 plus we will be having, but here we will have to go for, I think, the end correction also, because it is not exactly the same. So what I can say, L1 plus X is, let's say, actual L1 naught. L2 plus X would be, let's say, actual L2 naught, which would be 3 times L1 naught, and this L3 plus X would be equal to L3 naught, which would be, I can say, 5 times L1 naught. So going by this analysis, what we can directly go for, what can I directly say from the first one, 22.7 plus X is equal to 3 times 3 times of 22.7 plus X would be equals to, what you can write, 70.2 plus X. So from here I can calculate that X. So that particular X would be, what I can say, 22.7 into 3, 1, this is 3 2s 6, 8, 68.1 plus 3x is 70.2 plus X. So 2x is equal to 2 and 1 1, this is 2.1. So X comes out as 1.05. So the original L1 naught that we will have would be 22.7 plus 1.05, I can go for 20.75. So what we have, the actual length would be now 23.75 into 5, that if I do 5 5s are 25, 35 7, that is 15, 18, and that is 11, 118.75, that is what we are getting. If I have done this calculation, 23.75 I'll get. So the actual 5 L1 naught would be 5 into 23.75. if you do 5 5s are 25, 5 35 37, 3 30, this is 5 3 15 18, sorry, it is 15 plus 3, that is 18, and that one goes, that would be 118.75. but this L3 measured would be equals to 118.75 minus 1.05, that will give us 117.7 centimeter. Go for option A. Next, in YDAC apparatus as shown in figure, the wavelength of the light used is lambda. The screen is moved away from the source with a constant speed v. Initial separation is d. Suppose P is the point where the fifth order maxima was at t equal to 0, then after how much time third order maxima will lie at P? So what we have, this gap will remain same. So initially this y was 5 lambda d by d. Now finally it should be 3 lambda, that distance after t will become d plus vt by d. So this goes, this goes. So 5d is 3d plus 3vt. So t directly comes out as 2d by 3v. So I'll go for option B, again an easy one. Next, we have a rod AB of length L, mass m, free to move on a frictionless horizontal surface, moving with a velocity v as shown in figure, and B of the rod AB strikes the end of the wall. Assuming elastic impact, the angular velocity of the rod AB just after impact will be. First of all, we'll apply about this point conservation of angular momentum, because the impulses will act about this point, so their torque will be 0. So what I can say, L initial just before collision and L final just after collision must be same. So initially it is translating, so it is mv L by 2, because this separation is L by 2. Now after that, let's say assume this rod after collision, let's say the cm goes down with vcm, and let's say it rotates about cm with omega. So that L final would be, first of all, of the cm would be mvcm into L by 2, plus in frame of cm it would be I omega. I about cm is ml square by 12 into omega. So what you are left with, v will basically becomes vcm plus omega L by 6. This is your first equation. Next, because it is an elastic collision, this point previously it was approaching with the velocity v, that is the velocity of approach. Afterwards this point velocity would be, because of this omega it will go up, omega L by 2, and because of cm it will go down. So its velocity upwards must be same as speed of approach. Then approach, that velocity upwards would be omega L by 2 minus vcm. This is what you can write from that Newton's law of restitution thing. Here E is 1 for elastic collision. So from here what we can write, v is omega L by 2 minus vcm. Vcm from above can be written as v minus omega L by 6. So 2v omega L by 2 plus omega L by 6, you can write it as 4 omega L by 6, that is 2 omega L by 3. So omega comes out as 3v by L. So it's a very nice question. Let's go for option B here. Next, a body starts from rest and uniformly accelerated for 30 seconds. The distance in first 10 is s2 next. You remember this in equal interval of time starting from rest, it would be in the ratio of 2 and minus 1. This is 1:3:5. If they ask for first 10, first 20, first 30, then it would be 1:4:9. Here it would be 1:3:5. You will use that nth second displacement or whatever you write. You remember these results. This is 1:3:5. Next, in a transformer, the number of primary turns is 4 times of secondary. Then its primary is connected to AC of V. Then current in the secondary is about 4 times. Yes, it would be true, because voltage is 1/4, so current would be 4 times, assuming the 100% efficient. Voltage across secondary is about 4 times. False. So you have done it. So go for option A. Next, if the earth be in half of its distance from the sun, then how many days will be in the air? So we need air, so you know t square proportional to r cube, t proportional to r cube power 3 by 2. If distance is half, time period will become 1 by 2 to the power 3 by 2 times the original one, which is 365 days. So it is 1/2 into root 2, that is 1.4 into 365. So 365 upon 2.8. So if I go for it, it would be, let's say 3650 upon 28, it is 1. This is what we are left with. 85 would be 28. This is 3 times, so 13. So we are 130 is approximately coming. So 129 days would be the answer we will be going for. So next, one plano-convex and one plano-concave lens of same radius r but of different materials joined side by side. If of the first material is mu1, that 2 is mu2, then the focal length of the combination is what you will do, because they are in touch. First of all, what is 1 upon f1? 1 upon f1 is mu1 minus 1 into 1 upon infinity, minus minus will become plus 1 by r. So that is mu1 minus 1 by r. This is 1 upon f1. Similarly, 1 upon f2 is mu2 minus 1. I am calculating with respect to air, because whenever we apply combination we assume we are calculating these focal lengths with respect to air. So that would be, here it would be minus 1 by r minus 1 by infinity. So it is mu2 minus 1 upon r with negative sign. So 1 upon f equivalent in combination would be 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. So LCM would be r1 r mu1 minus 1. This will become minus 1 plus mu2. So it would be mu1 plus mu2. Okay, it would be minus, sorry, it is I have taken the wrong sign. It would be minus mu2 and it would be plus 1. So what we are left with? We are left with is mu1 minus mu2 and upon r. This is 1 upon f equivalent. So f equivalent is r upon mu1 minus mu2. So as per this option it is D. Next, which one of the following 5 physical parameters have the same dimensions? Okay, energy density, that is energy per unit volume. Refractive index, it is dimensionless. Dielectric constant is what you have, we will check. Dielectric constant is K, that is also we will check Young's modulus. Young's modulus is what we have, that is same as stress, that is force per unit area. Magnetic field, so force per unit area can be written as what we know, energy is force into distance, volume can be area into length. So this goes, so these two are same. So first of all, A and D are same, I can directly make out, so we'll go for option C here. Next, a ball whose kinetic energy is E thrown at an angle of 45 with the horizontal. Kinetic energy at the highest point, you know this, at highest point V at highest point would be u cos theta. So kinetic energy at highest point would be half m u square cos square theta, that is k cos square theta. K cos square theta means k by 2 here, so E by 2 here, so we will go for option B here. Next one, the potential difference of 20 kilovolt is applied across an X-ray tube. The minimum wavelength X-ray is, you know, minimum wavelength lambda minimum is hc by ev. So 20 kilovolt, okay, sorry, hc is 1240. What we write as ev nanometer upon E into 20 kilovolt. So this E and E goes, volt and volt goes, so 1240 upon 20, and this is will be 10 to the power minus 3 nanometer, that is you can say in picometers. So it is 62 picometers, or you can say it would be 0.62 angstrom. Go for option C in this case. Next, how long will a radioactive isotope whose half-life is T takes its activity to reduce to 1/8? Activity becomes 1/8, that means number becomes 1/8, that is 3T. That is directly you can go easiest one. Next, find the magnetic induction at point 2 if the current in the wire is given. So first of all, due to this wire is 0, due to this arc would be mu naught I into theta. Theta is 3 pi by 2 upon what you write 4 pi r, and the sense of all is same, plus of due to this wire would be mu naught I upon 4 pi r. One angle is cos 90, which is 0, other would be cos 0, that would be 1. So what you have, mu naught I upon 4 pi r, I can take it as common, it would be 3 pi by 2 plus 1, and it is the direction you can make out as coming outwards. So as per this option, what we are left with is that we are left with only one choice, this is D. So an easy one, you must have done such questions many times. Frequency of a sonometer wire is F, but the weight producing the tension is completely immersed in water, it becomes half, and immersing the weight in a certain liquid, it becomes 1/3. The specific gravity of the liquid is okay. So you know that fundamental frequency depends on V depends on root. Now in first case, the tension T1 would be equal to mg. In the second case, it would be mg 1 minus rho of fluid, that is rho of water upon rho of body. So what I can make, in the first case the frequency F, in the second it is F by 2, that would be equal to root of T1 by T2. So 2 square I can do is T1 by T2, and if I do T1 by T2, it is 1 minus rho W by rho B. So 1 minus rho W by rho B comes out as 1 by 4. So rho W by rho B comes out as 3 by 4, or you can say body density is 4 by 3 times density of water. Now similarly, T3 will become mg 1 minus rho of fluid by rho of body, and if I compare f initial f and this becomes f by 3, that would be equals to ratio of T1 by T3. So again 9 would be equal to T1 by T3, so that would be 1 upon 1 minus rho of fluid upon rho of body. So from here you can say rho of fluid upon rho of body will come out as 8 by 9. So the rho of fluid is 8 by 9 times rho of body, which is 4 by 3 times rho of water, which is 32 times 27 rho of water. So specific gravity is 32 by 27. You can go for question, this was 20th. Now through the subjective ones. Ring has 2 pi kg mass, radius this, making 300 rpm out an axis. Through its center normal to the plane, the tension developed in the ring is. So we again do this, how to do this question. Let's take a very small angle, let's say subtending theta. So for this section, if I do this two parts, this is t, this is t, this is delta theta by 2, this is delta theta by 2. So this is the net force towards symmetry, says tension will be same. So force towards center 2t sine delta theta by 2 is m. M of this would be total m upon what we can say total angle is 2 pi, this angle is delta theta, into omega square r, you write. And because angle is very small, we write sine theta as theta. So this becomes 2t delta theta by 2 is m upon 2 pi into delta theta omega square r. This goes, this goes, this goes. So tension is m upon 2 pi, that is 1. Omega square 300 rpm, rpm means 2 pi by 60 whole square into r, r is what you have 1 by 4. So tension would be what I am getting now. This is 510, this is 100 pi square by 4, that is 25 pi square. So this is the value we are going to get. This is 25 pi square, and pi square approximately we take as 10. They should have given that pi square should be taken as 10, otherwise you cannot go for exact answer. So if it is 10, it would be 250 Newton for sure, you can directly say. Next. Block starts from rest and accelerates as AB is 12t. Simultaneously another end of the string is pulled with constant acceleration a0. If t equal to 3 seconds, the block A comes to rest, then the value of a0 is equal to OK. This is very nice. So it comes to rest. So it comes to rest, that means if it is coming to rest, we can directly go for this logic here. If it is at rest, okay, the speed is 0, not the acceleration. So the A is coming out to be 0. So what we can do here, let's say this is going with a0, this is coming with 12t, and let's say it was going somewhere, let's say it was going assuming it was going up, or let's say it was assuming going down, that would be better for me. So what I can make out, I can directly say what the logics that I'll go for is, you just see this is length L1, this is L2, this is L3, and this is L4. What I can say, L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus L4 is constant. So I differentiate it. So L1 dot plus L2 dot plus L3 dot plus L4 dot is going to be 0. So I can get a relationships. So let's say this is going with some velocity v, let's say v of a vb I can write. So this L1 dot would be equal to minus VB, because this end is fixed, this is coming towards, so the length will be going decreasing minus VB. L2, because it is going down, the speed will be increasing, and this end is at constant. L3 dot, again we can say it is increasing, therefore it is V of A. And the last one, L4 dot, would be equal to plus, let's say V naught, like I should write of this end, V naught I can write, that should be 0. So from here what we can get, V naught plus 2 VA should be equal to VB, and the similar acceleration relationship is A naught plus 2 times A of A should be equal to A of B. So that is the first relationship that we are going to get. So at any instant, acceleration of A comes out as A of B minus A naught by 2 downwards. So that comes out as 12t minus A naught by 2. So at 3 seconds it comes to rest. That means if I do, this is dVA by dt. So if I integrated dVA is equal to 12t minus A naught by 2 dt, limit from 0 to 3, it comes from 0 to 0, because initially rest, finally rest, so it is 0. So 0 would be 12t by 2, that is 60, 60 whole square would be 3t square minus A naught t by t from 0 to 3 will be 0. So what we are getting with 3 square is 9 minus A naught 3 by 2 is equal to 0. So 9 3s are 27 into 2 by 3, that is equal to A naught 54 by 3. 54 by 3, that comes out as 18 meter per second square. So this is the standard way of first how do you find the constraint relationships. Next, if the displacement and velocity of a particle executing SHM are related by this expression, the time period of the particle is this, that is the value of n. So 3v square is 30 minus x square. So differentiate, so what you will get, 6v dv by dx is minus 2x, and this v dv by dx you know is acceleration is minus 1 by 3x. So omega value is root of 1 by 3. So time period comes out as, because a is minus omega square x, you all know, that is 2 pi under root of 3, that comes out as pi under root 12. So this is 12 is the answer for 23rd. Now the last two, what are these? First, Carnot engine has an efficiency 1 by 5, it becomes 1 by 3 when the temperature of sink is decreased by 50. What is the temperature of the sink? So 1 by 5 was 1 minus Tc by Th, and 1 by 3 is 1 minus Tc minus 50 by Th. So what we can have from here, from the first equation I can write Tc by Th is 4 by 5. From the second one I can write Tc minus 50 upon Th is 2 by 3. So what it now leaves us with, this leaves us with divide both. So Tc upon Tc minus 50 is 4 3s are 12 by 10. So that is 6 by 5. So 5 Tc is 6 Tc minus 300. So Tc is left with 300 Kelvin. So the option is 300 is the answer. Next, the last. An optical communication system which operates at 1200 nanometer, only 2% of the source frequency is available for TV transmission of bandwidth 5 megahertz. Number of channels is, so first of all, what is the frequency? Frequency you saw is c by lambda, 3 in 10 ki power 8, 12 into 10 to the power minus 7. So it becomes, what I can write, let's say 300 by 12 I do, and this will become 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the power 7, that is 10 to the power 13. 300 by 12 if you do, that is what you write as 25. So this is the frequency. Now 2% is only available. 2% of this means 2 by 100 into 25 into 10 to the power 13 hertz. So that is 4. So that is basically, you can say 50 I can say, or 5 I can say, that it would be better for me. 20 by 4, that would be 5. Wait a minute, and this would be 5 into 10 to the power 12 hertz. Now each channel require 5 megahertz, so number of channel would be 5 into 10 to the power 12. One has 5 into 10 to the power 6. So it is 10 to the power 6 channels can be broadcasted. So at a very high number of channels you can broadcast, and is going to be 6. So this was today's paper. Keep watching, keep sharing the channel. Thank you once again.